Good morning from wherever you are connected from. This is a beautiful sunny morning in the USA. I am going live today from the USA. I'm actually in Maryland. I am sure you're connected wide and far, but I'm happy you're all here with me today to host another special edition of our mental health webinar. This is a special series. We've decided to put this together because we do understand the pressure that we have today in our actual state of mind. We know we are being influenced by so many things out there. We're being influenced by the way we look, the way we speak, the way other people look at us. And these things, whether we like it or not, affect our mental capacity. They affect the way we do things. They affect who we are. My name is Adeline Sedekamga. I am the founder and the CEO of Fabafric Media Group and Fabafric Magazine. We help companies portray their images and help them position them with regards to brand visibility. But on this other hat, I'm wearing the hat of a host to this wonderful session put together and put to place by All Mercy Psychiatry and Integrative Inc. This is the second time we are having this webinar, and the first webinar we hosted in about 2 months ago, where we were talking about mental health. We're talking about breaking the stigma. We brought in not just mental health practitioners or doctors, but we also brought in a guest speaker who was who used to be a mental health patient and now is fine. She gave us the ins and outs, what happened, how it happened, and who she finally is today. We want to open up our platform to you out there who is listening and who is watching, and we want to let you know that we want to speak with you. We want to hear from you. If you feel that you've been affected before, and if you think that you have a story to share, we would like you to get in touch with us. If you are a practitioner out there who thinks that you have something to share and who feels that you can help inspire other people to be in control of their mental health, of what they think about themselves, how they think about themselves, then we want to hear from you. That said, I want to say this is not an annual rendezvous, but this is a bi-monthly rendezvous. We're going to try as much as possible to bring this to doorsteps every other month. So we're going to be trying to ensure that we have a topic that is suitable and we bring it once every 2 months. If there is a topic that you would like us to discuss, by all means, do leave us an email, leave us an inbox, get in touch with us, and we're going to see how we can bring in key practitioners to help talk about this so they can help you. And in return, you can help not just yourself, but your community as well. I am not going to faff around much because I have important people waiting in my studio at the back end. I'm just going to pop them in. I'm going to start by bringing in Dr. Mercy Barasa, who is going to be joining us all the way from Kenya. Now, I love to read bios, but this time around, I told myself it makes no sense to read bios because the people are here live with us and they can tell us a little bit more about themselves. But what I want to say is that Mercy Barasa is the CEO and founder of Rumor Services Limited, where she helps businesses make better use of their data, ultimately increasing their bottom line. We all know the importance that data plays in our life today. The next person who's going to join me very soon is going to be Priska Name. And this is, I am pleased to say that I've worked with Priska on a series of initiatives which involve speaking engagements back in Cameroon. She's actually checking in today from Canada, where she said it is cold. We're in the summer, but we know what Canada can be like. So Priska will be joining us today from Canada. Priska Name is a consultant in addiction and mental health, specializing in pharmacology, addiction, and psychology. She's passionate about human measures. She has developed an overflowing altruism around the leadership of services, which gradually brings her closer to pharmacology and issues related to addiction. Now, Priska has let us know that she might be mixing a little bit of French into what she's saying, but please do feel free to ask me what she meant if at all you really want to. But anyway, I am here and I'm quite bilingual, so I'm going to be at some point just bringing highlights of what she said. And then, of course, as usual, we have our host, Dr. Mercy, who has found it necessary, deemed it necessary to bring this beautiful initiative. We think with Dr. Mercy on our panel, everything is covered. And if you did not watch our last series, we're going to share the link right after this so that you can go back and watch. And then, if you have any questions, know that Dr. Mercy is available to answer. I'm going to start by bringing in Mercy Barasa, checking in from Kenya, and then she's going to tell us a little bit about who she is and why this topic means a lot to her. And then I'll bring in the next. So I'll pop her on my stream now. Hello, Mercy. How are you? I think you're muted. If you just unmute yourself, that will be fine. Great.
There you go.
Nice to host you today. I think you need to unmute yourself again. I'll stay muted, but you can unmute yourself.
Can you hear me? Sorry. Can you hear me now? That's good. Okay. So yes, as you've heard, my name is Mercy Barasa. I'm a CEO and founder at Roma. We deal with data governance. We help businesses make better decisions with their data so that they can improve their bottom line. And apart from running a business, I'm also a wife and I'm a mother of 2 boys. And I think the reason why I'm on this show today is because I have experienced illness in my family where I was born. So we've had mental illness. So I've had encounters with mental illness from as young as I think 16 or 15, where I witnessed a family member going through a mental breakdown, and I've seen it happen over and over again. And myself, I had a serious burnout in October last year, and I got hospitalized. So I think this is why I'm on the show, to talk about my experience with mental illness and really generally mental health and what we can do to protect us and help us around that.
Thank you very much, Mercy. Thank you so much. I think that's the energy we need. We need this energy because sometimes when we listen from those who've been there, got the t-shirt, then it makes a whole lot of sense. We keep saying mental health every day, but sometimes we can't identify mental health. So thank you so much for accepting our invitation, and we look forward to getting more from you. Now I'm going to introduce Priscilla's name, who is checking in all the way from Canada. So I'm going to pop her on screen, and if she can unmute herself, then that will be amazing. She can tell us who she is and why she's on the show today.
Hi there. Can you hear me? Perfect. Hi, everybody. Thank you again for this invitation. I'm really grateful. And I am a consultant in the addiction and mental health. I've been here in Canada for really long, actually for 10 years. So I decided to go back in Africa. Actually, it was just to support my family because we lost at that period of time, one member of our family. So I decided to go in Africa for a month. But arriving there, I saw the lack of service, of resources around mental health. So I decided to extend my stay. Finally, instead of a month, I've been there for a year and a half. I just came back here in Canada. And because mental health is such an important issue that we cannot just see and not talk about or do anything about. So I was like, if I want someone to remind, to keep in mind something about me, it's really gonna be about mental health because I think it is we everyone has to everyone needs like un équilibre. Tout le monde a vraiment besoin et nécessite un équilibre psychologique. Et we have been working with schools, with companies, with les ministères de la Santé également. Et je me rends compte effectivement que companies need us, but us in good mental and physical health. So mental health is everywhere. Mental health is at school, at work, at home. Mental health is it's everywhere. So this is why I'm actually today fighting to promote and encourage mental health to be known. And again, Dr. Mercy, Madame Adeline Sede, thank you very much for the invitation, and I hope my input will be a good help.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Priska. You've just summed up everything that Dr. Mercy is trying to push with All Mercy, Psychiatry, and Integrative Care. You've said mental health is a journey, and you've said we have to take the wheel and we have to drive or ride together. And that is what All Mercy is all about. So I'm truly excited that we're going to be exchanging today. Now, before I continue, I would like to say thank you to Remy Sakandor for this great initiative and for supporting. He's the CEO of All Mercy Psychiatry and Integrative Care. And he's put in so much into the platform, and he's brought in not just the finances but the expertise that the platform needed to push. And that is why over and over again we can continue to give these services and provide these services. Before I keep going, I would like to introduce on scene Dr. Mercy Ngesang Kandor, who is actually on the stream, and I would like her to introduce herself to our audience and to tell us why she thinks unveiling the power of self-perception and how body image and self-worth shape our connections is an important topic to discuss. Over to you, Dr. Mercy. Hello.
Good morning, morning, morning. I am so excited. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, Mercy Barasa. Thank you all for honoring this invitation. Adeline, Madam CEO, thank you for always being there, for all Mercy and hosting and bringing all these initiatives. Thank you so much. My name is Mercy Ngesan Kando. I am a doctor of nursing practice with a specialty in mental health. Over the years, we have seen a lot of issues, and sometimes we wish we could limit some of the issues to those that we can control that causes mental health, especially things like body issues or body image issues. There's actually a diagnosis in mental health called body dysmorphic disorder, where people get so preoccupied with perceived flaws, I would say perceived or imaginary flaws in their appearance, meaning that it is perceived. It may not be there, it may just be in their mind, but they may be looking like something is missing in their appearance. And because of that, it results to other mental health issues like depression. Oh, I'm not looking this way. I'm not looking this way. I'm not looking this way. I'm supposed to look this way. So it brings also anxiety. Sometimes, if they don't look a particular way, they cannot even go out to the public, or they cannot even feel like they fit into a society. And again, I will say that is perceived or imaginary. This has caused a lot of mental health issues. And if we can limit some of those diagnoses to those that we can control, it will be wonderful. I cannot wait to get your input on this topic, especially in summertime. People need to be having fun, not to worry about their body issues or something that is not there, something that is self creative. So I really cannot wait to hear your input. I am so excited. Thank you so much, so much, so much for being here. You are muted.
Okay. I just wanted to thank you again, Dr. Mercy. I'm sure I know it's summertime. People want to flex their muscles and show their body. And what is the right body for summer? Is there a right body for summer and the right body for winter? Unveiling the power of self perception, how you look at yourself, how body image self worth shape our connections. This is such a powerful powerful, powerful topic. And I want to start with you, Priska, with the first question. I know I'm going to be putting you on the spot, but please do take your time. If you need more time to explain, that is fine. How does body image affect a person's self-worth and their ability to form meaningful connections with others? You will need to unmute yourself.
Perfect. Thank you really much, Madame Adeline Sedi, for that important question. I think before jumping in, we need to, clarify what is body image, c'est quoi la différence entre l'estime de soi, l'image de soi et la perception de soi, parce que effectivement, ce sont trois notions physiologiques et même psychologiques, mais on doit pouvoir les définir. Donc, regarding the body image, I will say that it is the perception someone has of his body, actually. For example, imagine that you are trying a dress. You will have sometimes expressions like, "Oh, I feel a little bully in this dress. Je me sens un peu ballonnée dans cette robe. Je me sens trop maigre dans cette robe." En fait, ça, c'est l'image corporelle. C'est l'image qu'on a, la perception qu'on a de son propre corps à ce moment-là. Maintenant, pour ce qui est de l'estime de soi, en fait, c'est le regard qu'on pose sur soi-même par rapport à nos appréciations, par rapport à nos valeurs, par rapport à notre importance, en fait. Par exemple, une personne qui a une très bonne estime d'elle-même n'a pas peur du challenge parce qu'elle connaît ses valeurs, parce qu'elle connaît son importance, parce qu'elle s'apprécie déjà. Mais pour une personne, à contrario, qui n'a pas une bonne estime d'elle-même, à chaque fois qu'un challenge va survenir, she will be like, "Oh, I knew I would never be able to do this because I'm this type of person." So she has like a negative picture of herself. And pour terminer, la perception de soi, c'est un contexte à la fois de connaissance de soi, à la fois d'estime de soi et du soi social. Maintenant, la subtilité dans la perception de soi, c'est le fait que la perception de soi est liée à what happens during the childhood, actually. So the perception you will have of our own person will be related to what happened during your childhood, pendant votre enfance, votre adolescence, ou même à l'âge adulte, dans votre mariage, des choses comme ça. Ça aura une très grosse incidence sur la manière dont vous vous percevez, en fait. Maintenant, maintenant qu'on a pu établir la différence avec l'image de soi, l'estime de soi et la perception de soi-même, pour revenir à votre question, Madame Adeline Cédé, avoir une image négative, une image corporelle négative et une estime de soi négative, ça va entraîner des dérèglements au niveau alimentaire. Pour certaines personnes, ça sera la boulimie, le fait de trop manger. Pour d'autres personnes, on va arriver jusqu'à l'anorexie, c'est-à-dire la personne ne consomme plus rien, en fait. C'est-à-dire à ce moment-là, il est difficile pour cette personne de vouloir manger. Mais par contre, quelque chose qui a aussi été prouvé, c'est que what we can control is ourselves, actually. So maybe you cannot control that project at work, you cannot control what your child will do, but you can control your weight. So because donc c'est-à-dire à un moment donné de la vie, on va se rendre compte que, en fait, c'est la seule chose que je peux contrôler. Si je mange trop, je vais prendre du poids. Si je mange pas beaucoup, je vais en perdre. Des choses comme ça, que ça devient comme finalement même une manière de se punir nous-mêmes, en fait. Ça peut même aller jusqu'à la mutilation, c'est-à-dire le fait d'aller essayer de se blesser et tout, parce qu'on n'a tellement pas une bonne perception de nous-mêmes qu'on veut finalement se faire du mal à soi-même, au travers de l'automutilation, au travers du fait on sait qu'on a besoin de manger équilibré, mais we're gonna eat junk food, et après se faire vomir, mais en fait, on ne s'aime plus, on ne s'apprécie plus soi-même, et la seule chose sur laquelle on a encore le contrôle, c'est notre corps. On va essayer d'aller à l'encontre de cela. Donc, à ce moment-là, effectivement, ça commence à devenir un trouble parce que la personne commence à prendre des décisions négativement impactantes pour son apparence physique, des décisions négativement impactantes pour son bien-être, son équilibre psychologique, ce genre de choses. Si vous m'y autorisez, j'aimerais aller plus loin, mais en même temps, je ne veux pas monopoliser la parole. So maybe I will clarify on another question.
No, that's fine. I think we have a whole list of questions. And one thing I love about, I'm just going to give a short summary, her train of thought. Priska is talking about the differences between your body image when you're at momentarily, you might be in a shop trying on a dress and you feel that the dress doesn't suit you because you're either too skinny or too fat. That is how you see yourself at the time. Now, when it comes to the self-worth, she's looking more about incidents that might have happened in your childhood, in your lives, or even in your adulthood, even while marriage, something that might have affected the way you look at yourself. Now, this might have nothing to do about whether you're fat, you're skinny, or you're too fleshy, curvy, or not. This would be what other people have made you to believe that you are, and it will also be a little bit more dangerous because you will be pushed to a certain extent to do things that you feel can make you feel better, even if it means harming you. And then she went on to talk about the connections, which is more about you might always feel that when people look at you, they think about you the way that X and X person has portrayed that you are. Whereas this is all a psychological effect that the way you look at yourself, the incidents that you've had in your life, these are some of the things that can really make you to have different perspective about yourself and about your body image. Let's move over to you, Mercy. Let's hear what you have to say about this. How does body image affect a person's worth and their ability to form meaningful connections?
So I like what Krista said about having these perceptions formed even in childhood. So a funny story is that as a child, I had like big calf muscles. So the boys in the school would make fun of me and call me a footballer because my legs had this calf muscle. And so this is the perception that I had of myself, that I looked like a man, maybe. So it affected, of course, how I interacted with my peers and how I even thought of myself. So over and above that, just that example of what I thought when I was a child, I think it affected the really connections I had. I never ended up having any serious connections with my peers when I was a child. So coming on, fast forward to adulthood, and I had my baby, and I went for a wedding, a friend's wedding, my firstborn. And what happened is a lady asked me, "Are you pregnant?" I think I was 6 weeks postpartum, and it really affected the way I was thinking, because according to me, when I looked in the mirror, I was fine. I mean, I just had a belly, but it was going down slowly. But that really affected me, and I started feeling some type of way about myself. So how body image affects connections is how I reacted to that was, I think I went on a serious diet. It might have been great. I lost the baby weight, but still I felt like a bit ashamed, and I didn't want to interact with people, especially during the wedding time, because now I felt, okay, I don't look good enough. I don't have this image that the social media or whatever I might be jumping, but I don't have this body image that looks good according to what the world assumes you're supposed to look like. So really, the body image affects your self-worth in terms of, yes, the same thing that Priska has said. When you look at yourself in the mirror, what do you think of how you look? And how will you interact with your peers, with my husband? How do I interact with him? Do I dress up just to cover certain parts of the body that I'm ashamed of? Or do I do something so that I can make sure that I'm proud of my body, whether I have big calf muscles? Right now, it's a big thing. If you have calf muscles and you're wearing heels, you look good as a woman. But as a child, I thought that was something terrible.
Thank you very much, Messi. I think that example you shared about looking like a footballer, I believe that right now we all want to look like footballers, isn't it? Because it's really the thing now. It's a it now. So I could borrow some of your your curves and just look great in it. Now let's hear from Dr. Messi. Let's hear what she has to say about body image and how it how it affects the person's worth and the ability to form meaningful connections. Now we're going to be maybe listening from psychiatric point of view. So over to you, Messi.
Yeah, yeah. Priska, I loved all your breakdown of it. And Mercy, you just threw a highlight on it again. What I would say is thinking about this topic, body image, like I said, body dysmorphic disorder, is how an individual perceive or evaluate themselves, especially their physical appearance. When someone has a negative body image, they tend to harbor a lot of dissatisfaction and discontent towards themselves. They just don't like themselves anymore, if they ever did anyway. They feel that they are so unattractive. This negative perception can even take away their self-worth. They may feel unworthy, they may feel inadequate, they may feel unattractive. It can also affect their self-esteem because it can diminish their sense of value. They don't connect any value or relate like they are valuable to the society or anything. It also takes away their confidence. And I see a lot of patients going through social anxiety, which stems from body image. They in the society, or if they have to go somewhere, they already feel so anxious because they feel like they do not fit in. And again, this is perceived. Your body image is what you look at it. If you have a problem with it, it's not even about what people look at it first. It is first of all what you look at it. If you have a problem with it, then you start feeling lack of confidence. You start feeling in the society like you don't fit in. Even when you go to social gatherings, you try to hide because you're just so preoccupied in your own thoughts about your body. And this can hinder your ability to engage authentically with other people. It can hinder your ability to even have meaningful interactions. You are in constant fear of being judged, of being rejected because of your physical appearance. And this is just you. This may lead to a lot of withdrawal, isolation, and before you know, a lot of anxiety. Then we start looking for ways to treat your anxiety. And also, again, this will affect your self-worth because you start envying. You may be envying others because you're comparing yourself to them. You're thinking you're a misfit and you wish you looked like the other person. You start comparing, you start developing envy. And when you constantly compare yourself, you feel inadequate in the comparison. You feel like other possesses things that you do not. You feel like you may want to have some attributes that others have. And this may be detrimental to build your genuine connections because you're always looking at something that somebody have that you do not have. It also leads to a perceived rejection. I would say perceived because you are the one feeling rejected. You are the one feeling that you're inadequate. You're the one feeling that something is wrong with you. And before you even go somewhere, instead of welcoming people and expect to be welcome, you're already thinking that you will be rejected in the society. And that will just crush you mentally. Whenever you feel like you do not fit in a society or you do not fit in with your peers, your mental health is already starting to go down. You start experiencing depression. With body image issues too, it hinders your ability to be more communicative or to be a good communicator or to even have intimacy with people. I see when, like Priska said, and Mercy also reiterated the fact that maybe you're even with your husband, you're scared to even undress because you don't want him to judge how your body looks. And this is the space that you should feel the safest, right? Around your own people, you should feel the safest. And if you're still very self-conscious or very preoccupied of how you look physically, that can hinder good intimacy, good communication, and make you feel uncomfortable and not even be present during those moments where you really have to be present and more communicative. So thank you so much. I am excited at where this is going. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mercy. Please do not go because I want you to link what you've just said to the next question on our list, And the next question that I want to ask you, Dr. Mercy, what are some of the common misconceptions or societal pressures that contribute to negative body image worth and negative body image and self-worth and low self-worth? You're still muted.
I'm, I'm, I'm so glad you say misconceptions. The miss there is what holds these questions. Misconceptions. There are several, and especially societal pressures. uh, with society today, they have all these unrealistic beauty standards. That's why the cosmetic industry is booming, and that's why cosmetic surgery as well is booming, because people are always fixing certain things. Let me go fix my lips. Let me go fix my nose. It's because of society pressure. It often promotes a narrow self-being, very narrow and unrealistic beauty standards that are heavily influenced by the media, advertising, and the popular culture. What is the popular culture today? What is the popular trend of body image today? They want you in a certain size, a certain shape. Maybe they emphasize on thinness. Your skin has to be flawless. Your body proportions has to be in a specific way, because they are comparing what is favorable, what is selling, and what is inadequate, what is not selling. You have photoshopped and airbrushed images have taken over social media. You see somebody on social media, and when you meet them in person, you ask them, where is this person? Because they look so different. And other people who have not met these people in person, they are dying to look like this person, because of all the editing, digitally altered images that the media creates. It has just distorted the perception of what people should look like, what beauty is, what image should be looking like. And the online culture also has affected a lot and has pressurized many people into what they need to be looking like. It's like men has to be muscular with 10 packs or 6 packs, has to have a certain body build. Women have to have all these other kind of ideas. It's a lot of fat shaming. It's a lot of lack of self-worth if you don't belong to this group of women who look this way. We see a lot of bypass surgery these days just because we want to fit in. Now, remember, if it is for health reasons that you need to look a certain way, that is understood. But if it is to please other people, not even yourself, it starts with a sense of self-being. If it is to please other people, people are dieting and going to the hospitals every day just because of the way they want to look in the society. They get sick. Their labs are all over the place just because they're trying to place the society on how they would look. So, I hope that answers your question.
Answer a lot of the questions, and I'm happy how you dived right into question 3. So this means, and this set, I'm going to call on Priska to I just want to explore a little bit more about the social media and the part that it plays and the influence and how we can navigate its influence in a healthy way. And once this is done, if Mercy, if you want to drop in anything about question 2 that Mercy has so clearly elaborate, then by all means you should. So Priska, please tell us, what role does social media play in shaping our body image and self-perception, and how can we navigate its influence in a healthy way?
Great, beautiful question. Beautiful question. Thank you very much. Je dirais que I will say that mental health, la santé et l'équilibre psychologique sont étroitement liés à l'image corporelle positive et une bonne estime de soi. Dans le sens que, comme l'a dit tout à l'heure Dr Mercy, les médias, l'entourage, la culture, l'école, les amis, parfois même la famille également, on véhicule souvent en fait un prototype de l'image de soi. Quand on pousse le bouchon plus loin, les dessins animés, les films, les comédies, il y a tellement de choses, les magazines, il y a tellement de choses qui viennent imposer, instaurer. Je pèse bien mes mots en disant imposer parce que ici, on n'est pas en train de nous proposer quelque chose si bien qu'on puisse accepter ou refuser, mais on vient vraiment nous l'imposer. C'est-à-dire que vous allez voir quelque chose right here on the TV, tomorrow you will be able to buy it on internet or maybe in the store. So it's kind of like a mandatory to follow the trend. And c'est venu en fait imposer une façon de voir la masculinité et la féminité. Par exemple, en termes de féminité, si tu n'as pas un flawless skin, si tu n'as pas des hanches, des hanches vraiment, un déhanché de hanches, comme on dit souvent, si tu n'as pas un volume de poitrine assez surprenant, tu n'es pas vraiment féminine. Et j'ai même entendu dire une fois que les femmes minces, pour des femmes qui sont minces, parfois c'est à se demander si elles peuvent enfanter, parce qu'on ne sait pas comment, avec la grossesse qui prend de l'ampleur, comment une skinny woman will adjust it, comment est-ce qu'elle pourra handle it. Aussi, en termes de masculinité, comme Dr. Mercy l'a très bien spécifié, tout ce qui est abdominaux, six-packs and stuff, muscles, bunch of, oh my God. So, actually, la question devient réelle. C'est de se demander, c'est quoi l'image de beauté que j'aimerais avoir? Pendant que le monde ou la société définit la beauté de cette manière-là, comment est-ce que moi, je définis la beauté dans mon univers à moi, dans mon monde à moi, sans que ça ne vienne biaiser mon équilibre psychologique? Il faut garder en tête que, neurologiquement parlant, les récepteurs sensoriels olfatiques sont étroitement liés avec notre manière de penser. Donc, comme je vois, alors je pense. Ça veut dire que sur une page Instagram, je peux peut-être voir une personne assez skinny. Et puis, je pense que l'idéal de beauté, c'est d'être autant skinny, en fait. Finalement, je ne me sentirai pas belle jusqu'à ce que je n'ai pas atteint ce poids-là. But the thing is, why you are wasting time being another person? There are so many things that you are missing. You are missing your own objectives. You are missing your own purpose because you are following someone else's purpose. And actually, your mind will be kind of craving. Craving not because you are following someone else's purpose because you want to look skinny as the other girl, but craving because your mind wants you to fill it with what you think is good for you. It is your mind, so it has to be filled by what you think and not what someone else is thinking. Donc à un moment donné, vous allez vous sentir et effectivement, la preuve en est que when you reach that skinny purpose, you don't feel fulfilled. You don't feel like you have achieved something extra wow because your mind is not fulfilled by what you want for you. I don't know if you get the difference. Je vais essayer d'expliquer en français.
I think that is perfectly said, and I love the fact that you've brought in this comparison, because we all live in the world where, I'm just going to summarize quickly what Priska said. We live in a world where we are, the world throws us a lot of social media platforms for different purposes. We've got, recently is a threat, you see people on the social media with flawless skin, beautiful hair. I mean, she's basically honing on some of the things that Dr. Mercy said, but the difference is that you are spending your time living in someone's dream, following their purpose, forgetting yourself, missing out on some of these important things that makes you, because you're thinking in you think you're working in someone else's shoes, and that is what you're doing. So you don't really take time to know yourself, know the things that you're capable of doing, and overall, what happens to you, you miss out on your purpose. You miss out on these beautiful things that you can do because you haven't taken any time or not enough time to think about you, Adeline. Who is Adeline, and how do I want to look at myself tomorrow and be happy? Once you've run behind being that skinny man or woman and you finally achieve that, the only thing you meet there is void, emptiness. You're not satisfied because that was not your purpose in the first place. So I think, I don't know if I've explained it, but the time that you spoke in English, that was so clear, that was so understandable. And it seemed as if you mastered this topic better in English, actually. So Mercy, tell me, if you were to talk about social media and the role that they play and how we can navigate its influence in a healthy way, what will it be? Priska, I think you're going to come back and tell me the navigation part, but let's hear what Mercy has to say to this regards.
So I always say that in order to stay healthy mentally, you just need to be careful about how you react to what you see, how you react to what you're told, because all those things are stimuli. So how do you react to them? So you're seeing all these people who have this image. Are you going to, it's the same thing Priska is saying, are you going to go ahead and say, I'm going to starve myself and be skinny like that? Or what are you going to do? At the end of the day, your body is made up of, your body, how you look, it's made up of what you put inside. So what do you eat? What do you drink? And it's also made up of the rest. Do you get enough rest? Do you sleep enough? These are things that will affect your mental health as well. What you're eating, whether you're resting, if you're sleeping. Also the fact that something that maybe many people would tell you, do you have regular bowel movements? Because if you bloated or if you get constipated, you have a bulging tummy. So now you get subconscious about how you're looking about your body because of that. So really, how do you react to what you see on social media? People, as Priska says, people are doing Photoshop, people are doing things to themselves. The best way to navigate it is to have your own goal. What is your goal as an individual? To be healthy? What do you want to look like? And if you want to look a certain way, what do you need to do? But are you going to do it in a way that is risky? Are you going to go into surgery? Are you going to request for something like which can actually lead to the loss of your life? Are you going to go into surgery? Are you going to go into drinking things that can make you, maybe they say detox and all that? I think the body we were born with, what we were endowed with, is able to process everything, is able to detox. We're able to actually eliminate any wastes naturally. We just need to make sure that it's a consistent process where you eat properly. And if you have to work out, you actually go ahead and work out so that you can have the body you want. So it's about looking at what is your goal. If you love your goal and if you have a goal to look in a certain way, don't also put too much excessive pressure on it. I mean, I started working out when I was big. If you would see my photos,
sorry, do you want me to share the picture? That was not big though, but would you want me to share?
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm just going to play that.
So the reason I started working out was very vain. It was very vain. And it's because my sister was supposed to get married in like 2 months. And I was like, I needed to lose all that belly fat this is something that happened when I was under medication. That's a different picture. But this one was, I needed to, look good for a wedding because I wanted good pictures. It was a very vain reason. But as soon as I started working out, the benefits of just working out and, the energy I was getting from being in a gym and working out, eating healthy, drinking lots of water, it just gave me a different sort of perspective to my body image. So it was never about how I'm looking anymore. It was more about how do I feel? After I work out, how does my day go? I was working out three times a week. I ended up getting to 5 times a week. But then another thing is, do I want to get over obsessive and work out 7 times a week? Maybe not, because part of having a healthy body is you need to rest. So how do you react to what you see? Do I want to look like anybody specific? No. Do I want to have the abs? Yes, I do. But at what expense? If it's not coming, then it's okay with me because I still feel the benefits of working out. I really don't need those abs. I think I'll stop there and let us continue, because I believe we have so many more questions and the story will come out as we go along the way.
Thank you so much, Mercy. I think you've just inspired me to hit the gym. To be honest, I only just started working out and going to the nature, doing some hiking, doing some swimming, and I'm absolutely loving this. So seeing your picture, your before and your after, this is a huge inspiration. As someone said, it's a big transformation. That was a big transformation right there. And also, what you said about social media and how we can navigate ourselves, navigate our ways into a healthy, healthier lifestyle, I feel is very pertinent. It is just, honing to what Priska said about understanding your objectives, setting your goals, setting your objectives. Don't just do things because you want to do things. You wanted to look good for a wedding and you work towards that. That is your personal objective. It wasn't someone else's. So, and that is why you were able to succeed. That is how you were able to survive. You also talk about not letting the pressure get on you. But sometimes we just can't help it, can we? So I'm going to let Dr. Mercy tell us a little bit about navigating our ways. I mean, this from a psychological perspective, and then Priska, you can add to that as well. So let's get Mercy on our stream.
Mercy, you look so good. You look so good. And the best thing that I got from you looking good is a big transformation and a suitable one. The best thing that I got there is that you started feeling good. So it is a self worth thing. You said it got to a point where you're not worried about how you look, but you started focusing on how you were feeling. That is it. How do we feel for us, not for anybody? With social media, we have to remember, we must remember that social media is just one aspect of life. And it's important that we cultivate a balanced perspective. Focus on building that strong foundation of self worth and surround yourself with positive influences that promote self acceptance and body positivity. Remember, selective self presentation, that's what social media is. People do not post most of the times the bad part. People tend to highlight their best moments, their achievements, their physical appearances when they are at the best, but they do not do so when it's not the best. Now, you who is looking at social media and thinking that is a perfect life, that is an illusion, please, because nobody got it all together. But your self worth on how you look is what will fulfill you, not how someone else wants you to look. And like Priska said, surround yourself with those people. It happens in school, it happens with friends, it happens even at home, which is very sad that home should be the safest place. Let us learn, even as our children are growing up, let us learn to tell them how beautiful they look, how okay they look. They do not need to change anything. Sometimes that's how you're created for a purpose. You do not need to change certain things to be fulfilled. So I want to say social media has influenced a lot. Not just the bad part, is some good parts as well. But let us be able to have a mindset where we can digitally detox and have more self-care. Constant exposure to social media can be overwhelming and detrimental to self-perception. So let us be able to take breaks from social media and engage instead in self-care activities that can help enhance mindful mindsets. And if you need to change the way you look by hitting the gym and start feeling good, health-wise, nothing wrong with that. Now, like Mercy said, do I need to go to the gym 7 days a week? Some people even go to the gym 7 days a week, 7 times a day. So now that is an obsession. How is that affecting your health? And most importantly, how is that affecting your mental health? Again, what is health without mental health? And remember, self-worth, it is how you look. It is how you look, how you think you look before thinking, how do others think I look? It is, are you comfortable in how you look before you start thinking about what do others expect me to look like? I really, some people have told me so many things on how I should be looking, trust me. And that is nothing that I go to bed with because I am very okay. So people say go and like Priska said, if you don't have a big bust, you're not a woman. If you're too skinny, people judge your ability to carry a child successfully for 9 months. If you're not curvy, it's like you're not sexy, honey. It is how you look. What do you think you look like? Carry that perception with you. If others don't see it, fine. It is your mental health. It is your body. It is your choice. Stay with your perception, okay? And cultivate that good mental mindset.
Cultivate mental mindset set. Stay with that perception about you, who you are, how you look at yourself. Priska, if there is something you want to add to navigating the influence that social media has on us, what will it be?
Yes, sure. Yes, sure. Thank you very much. I will say, it depends on the value, la connaissance de soi, son identité, la connaissance de son identité et le regard qu'on pose sur soi-même. Comment est-ce que je me vois chaque fois que je regarde dans le miroir? Est-ce que je vois une personne finalement avec un packaging de compétences, que ce soit des compétences à la fois physiques et intellectuelles? Et comme je nous disais au début de notre webinaire, ça dépend aussi beaucoup de ce que notre enfance nous a donné. Est-ce que j'ai grandi dans un environnement où on me traitait de quelqu'un de trop mince ou de quelqu'un de, de grasse ou de gros? Est-ce que j'ai grandi dans un environnement où l'apparence physique était de plus en plus mise en avant? Est-ce que j'ai grandi dans un environnement où mes aînés étaient des Miss Univers, Miss de ci, Miss de ça, Miss du lycée, de l'université, et que moi, de l'autre bord, personne ne me regardait parce que j'étais beaucoup plus grosse? Donc déjà, ça renvoie dans notre mindset, I don't deserve this because this is for those kind of people. Mais ça, c'est le message que l'extérieur envoie. C'est pour ça qu'il est important d'avoir son propre message à soi, qu'on va pouvoir répéter à chaque fois que ce message extérieur viendra à notre rencontre. C'est très important. C'est pas parce que on a une enfance pas mal difficile au niveau de l'image de soi qu'on va laisser cette enfance-là finalement nous driver notre avenir. Alors là, pas du tout. C'est la raison pour laquelle j'interpelle aussi, s'il y a dans l'audience parmi nous des parents, il est très important de faire attention à ce qu'on dit à nos enfants concernant leur image de soi. Le fait de dire à son enfant tous les jours « Waouh, tu es beau, waouh, tu es belle », elle ne va pas attendre qu'on le lui dise à l'extérieur parce qu'elle sait qu'elle l'est déjà. Vous voyez ce que je veux dire? Le fait qu'un parent dise à son enfant « Mais toi, tu manges trop, regarde comment tu remplis la maison, you are just… » Sur le coup, vous pensez que c'est une blague, mais l'enfant intériorise la chose. Et plus tard, ça va créer beaucoup de problèmes. Je vous prends par exemple le cas d'une patiente que j'ai reçue. Je la trouvais très, très belle. Vraiment, je la trouvais super. Elle était obèse. Et à un moment donné, quand je lui ai dit « Wow, madame, vous êtes très belle, j'aime beaucoup votre façon de vous maquiller ». Je n'ai même pas fait abstraction sur son poids. I didn't even mention her weight or her body appearance or her body image. I was talking about her makeup. I told her, wow, you look beautiful and I like the way you put on your makeup. And she started to cry. She said, it is the only thing I have, actually, sur makeup, and she was emphasizing her look, her eyes, because she wants people to look at her eyes and not under her body. And I was like, we didn't even start at the therapy, but I was like, wow, okay, I think I know why you came to me, you came here. But le fait qu'elle mettait plus d'accent, elle aurait pu mettre l'accent, vous savez, sur ses lèvres, sur ses joues ou sur ses sourcils ou whatever, mais elle mettait l'accent sur ses yeux. Parce qu'elle voulait que les gens puissent, pour une première fois, la regarder droit dans les yeux et l'apprécier pour sa personne, pour avoir une conversation ouverte avec elle. Mais elle ne voulait pas en fait que l'accent soit mis sur son corps. Elle était en surpoids, elle était obèse. Donc elle se servait du maquillage, elle se maquillait très bien les yeux pour que de là parte une conversation avec quelqu'un qu'elle rencontrerait, voilà, que ce soit dans un café ou ailleurs. Mais vous voyez à quel point ce qu'elle a vécu dans son enfance est en train de la suivre jusqu'ici. Et si c'était pas le make-up qui était là, entre guillemets, pour l'aider, ça aurait pu être quelque chose de pire encore. Donc, ça dépend beaucoup. Donc, elle m'a expliqué que tout cela venait de son enfance, hein, comment sa famille, ses parents la traitaient. Et aujourd'hui, elle porte les séquelles de tout cela. Mais ensemble, on a pu travailler à ce que ce ne soit plus la vie extérieure qui drive sa vie, mais ce que elle-même, elle pense d'elle-même. Donc, chers parents, si vous êtes là dans l'audience, faisons très, très, très attention. Parce que ça pourra même arriver au point où votre femme, votre épouse vous dit que vous êtes belle, votre épouse vous dit que vous êtes beau et votre époux vous dit que vous êtes belle, mais vous n'y croyez pas. Parce que votre environnement vous a toujours dit que vous n'étiez pas beau. Instagram vous a montré et prouvé que vous n'êtes pas beau. Et donc, quand votre conjoint vous le dit, pour vous, vous l'acceptez, mais c'est un mensonge. Donc, il y a vraiment une grosse nuance à aller faire.
Wow, what I learned, you have to believe in yourself and believe those around you, because the way you look at yourself, who you are, and the way you perceive or understand what other people tell you about you, sometimes we don't accept it, but we want to accept what the social media is saying about us. So from today, if you're listening, if you've joined us, if you are a parent, you must understand that those who are growing up, if you have kids who are growing up, it is important for you to teach them how to value themselves, how to accept who they are, not to let the outside world influence them, but to let those around them influence them and shape how they look at themselves. Teach them how to be strong. Because if you teach them how to be strong, no matter the level of social media influence that we have or that we see out there, this cannot affect them at all. So it's all left to us to look around us, and it starts at home, isn't it, Dr. Mercy? It starts at home, and we have to, we have to look at that as well. So
Yes,
let's
yes. It really starts because we are raising the next generation. And what are we instilling in them? It's not what we give them, it's not the material things. We give them their needs, yeah, but what do we put into them? What do we instill in them? A child goes out there when they are comfortable at home, when they know they got it. It's not overconfidence, but they need to have a certain level of confidence, a certain level of self worth. When they go out there and somebody start fat shaming them, body shaming them, or something, they already know their worth. They should not come home and you, a mother, say, "Oh, my beautiful child, come and give me a hug." And they just presume that you're telling them beautiful because you are their mother or you're their parent. You're supposed to tell them that. They should instead judge what outside is telling them. Instead, judge what people tell them, that they don't look adequate, they don't look pretty enough, they don't look. What is inside of them? What have you succeeded to put in them? What role models have you developed inside of them? And yeah, do we have a lot of mental health support that recognize that body image is an issue? These are conversations that people should be talking at home. Hey, is there any part of your body that you're not comfortable with? Is there any part of your system that you're not comfortable with? Because that affects a lot of mental health. Girls go to school, they see their friends start having nail polish, they see some kind of braids, they come home, "Oh, this is what I want." Now, when you ask them, why do you want? If the answer is because this person has it, then we still have some work to do. So we need to teach our children. It starts from home. The home builds the family builds the community. We have community roles to play. We have supportive foster community roles. Legislation also. We have a lot of things to do. It starts at home.
Now, Mercy, you've talked about legislation, and I want to come back to legislation because the next question, it sinks in really perfectly. The next question is about what society can do to have a much more inclusive society that accepts diverse or that value diverse body image. So, what would you say, society can do? This one you have no control over because it's not, it's society. What can they put in place to ensure that people are not being bullied or shamed or whatever because of how they look?
So, as a community, as a society, like I said, it starts at home. As a community, as a society, we can advocate for legislation and policies that protect individuals from discrimination. Some people have even killed themselves because it started in school or in the community. We have seen all of those in social media where girls go and kill themselves because, oh, they are bald, they cannot grow hair, people are laughing at them in school, and sometimes they have a medical condition going on that makes them put them on steroid, they become big or they lost their hair. Then people start making fun of them. As a society, we have to advocate for a legislation and policies that will protect individuals from such kind of discrimination based on body size or appearance, meaning that when such occur, the school should not just say, or the society should not just say, oh, they were just fighting. This one called this one fat, this one called this one this. We should recognize the impact that appearance or being shamed for your appearance or being discriminated against because of the way you look. We should recognize the impact that it has on mental health. So such things should be taken seriously. Legislation should be advocated for uh, um, that will support that will fight against discrimination for body image, will fight against bullying in schools, will fight even against workplace discrimination based on appearance. We should have mental health support groups where we can talk about body image issue and have significant conversations that can ensure access to mental health resources for support group for individuals, and they are coming up, so many of them. That way you don't feel alone, you feel inclusive in the struggle with body image, and you feel like it concerns other people, and you can gain your self-esteem again. We should have workshops that will teach on self-acceptance and personal growth, especially as a community. The society is putting a lot of those resources. Even I go sometimes in the library and I see small workshops and I say, what is that? Oh, do you believe in this community? We are hosting this. We are talking about body image. We are trying to teach our children how to do this because even though the men are hit, but gender wise, the women are hit more about body image. So all those little talent workshop we build on their strengths. Sometimes they can feel like they are inadequate, but when they feel adequate in other structure, that summarizes how they want to feel. Build on their talents, their achievements, their strengths, not just the physical appearance. And remember, creating a more inclusive and accepting society is an ongoing process. Just mental health is a journey. This is an ongoing process that requires continuous effort. It requires open dialogue. It requires commitment to challenge this because this is a societal norm that is not going nowhere. This bias has been existing for a long time. If we lower our positivity and efforts down, then what is the perception? It will still continue. It will still continue. We have supportive community, and we should also be learning to celebrate diversity. We should also be learning to include any kind of people, short, tall, black, white, slim, fat, whatever. We are the ones creating these names. Can we just embrace diversity and say that of body types and appearances? This include even our languages. This include even the way we share our comments. This include we should appreciate and respect others as being who they are. Once we can appreciate them, we respect them, we add value to them, we are already building a society where we can foster self-acceptance. We can foster self-growth.
self-growth.
Of
Of
course,
course,
mental health.
Thank you so much, Dr. Messi. I think you've got me thinking, and when you're speaking, I'm seeing a much more American perspective. So this is why I want to go down to Kenya to see if the way we deal with things like this in the Western world is the way we have to deal with things in Africa, where we know that legislation is not something that kicks in, in the twinkle of an eye. It's something that takes process. How is it like in Kenya, Mercy? Do you think society can create a much more inclusive and accepting value for all body types? Do you think this is something that we can do and have in Kenya?
Sorry, I missed that question. Could you go ahead and go again? Go again.
I just wanted to know, I wanted to know if in Kenya, the society, that is the governments, the local community, if they are putting things in place to get the entire community to accept that people are different, people might look differently. Is there any legislation that is being put in place to ensure that bullying because of the way you look is eradicated, or to ensure that you're respected no matter how you look? Some people might be deformed from birth, some people might be deformed from kind of disease or whatever. So, and these people could be object of ridicule, object of hate, object of bullying. Do you think there are legislation in place in your country that can sanction or penalize, people who are, shaming people because of their body and how they look like?
Yeah, so definitely there's legislation around inclusivity. I'll call it that. When you look at business and how business is conducted, we have inclusivity around generally women, because women are not known to be entrepreneurs and all. So we have that in terms of inclusivity around women-led businesses getting opportunities, 30% of government procurement. And part of that 30% also goes with people who are living with disabilities. So they get something from that. I mean, really, there's a target that they should ensure any procurement that is done by government has to come 30% from people living with disabilities and women-led businesses as well. And then if you look at schools, definitely in schools there's rules around bullying. There's bullying that has come out clearly, but each school is different, and they try to ensure that these things are being dealt with at that level as well. So when you look at it from the child perspective, in schools it's being dealt with according to the rules of the schools. Yes, there's been times where you've had a child has taken their own life or something has happened, but I mean, those are a few of the cases. And when these cases happen, then the government together with the education sector are looking at ways to ensure that this is not happening again. So definitely within Kenya, we're trying to be inclusive. I think there was a bill that had been put forward around people who transgender and the LGBTQ society, and that's something that we're not like our neighboring country where we will jail somebody who is found like that. It's not legal, but then we are not jailing people, we are not stoning people, we're not killing somebody who is found like that. Although there was an incident where somebody was murdered because of their sexual orientation. However, those are isolated cases. The government is trying as much as possible to ensure that this is something that is being well taken care of.
Thank you very much, Mercy. Thank you. We do know that societies, differs from the west to the south and the east to the north, and that is why I'm going to call on you, Priska. I know Priska works in Cameroon. She does a lot of work in Cameroon, and if you know Cameroon, you will know that it's a very difficult, very challenging place to work in, because what works for person A is not necessarily going to work for person B. So, Priska, tell me, do you think in Cameroon the society is putting in effort to ensure that there is a limitation on how people react or behave around people. I mean, when it comes to the way people look at themselves, that is absolutely up to them. But when it comes to how people look at somebody and what they say and how they say it, do you think there's inclusivity in how Cameroon works with regards to getting people to accept that there might be people with a different body shape than you? And if not, what are some of the things that they've put in place to ensure that there is a balanced society or balanced community?
Thank you very much. For what I have witnessed, it is really, really hard in Cameroon as a woman because you might wear something that you like, but people will always find something to say about the way you dress. At this point that sometimes women says, oh, okay, I will buy this, but I will not wear it here in Africa. But when I will go on vacation for summer in Europe, I will be able to wear this dress without being judged or without being, So I think in Cameroon, we I don't know if because we are trying to put down some measure to protect women, but they are so judged. Women as a women we are really really judged, and regarding the way you talk, the way you dress, the way you eat, so you just have to be perfect actually. And when they see something they don't like, the the ideal approach will be to talk to the person, privately, but they will use it to emphasize things, put it in the middle, at the center of a conversation, and comme s'ils ont besoin vraiment que tu aies honte de ce que tu viens de faire. You see what I mean? But perhaps the person act like this because this is what she saw in her entire life. This is how her mom used to dress, and now she's just following her mom's path and wearing the same type of dress, right? But we are not gonna search deeply. No, we are just gonna judge you because they saw this. That's it. They are not searching how, why, what happens to you, nothing. So, for what I witnessed, il y a beaucoup de jugement et le jugement ne favorise pas les choses. Au contraire, it will create a certain type of anxiety and stress. And we know that anxiety and stress increase your risk, your cardiovascular risk. Plus vous faites du stress ou bien vous êtes anxieux ou sombrez dans la dépression, plus vous sécrétez, votre organisme sécrète ce qu'on appelle des mauvaises hormones, des hormones qui vont dépasser en fait le taux de sécrétion normal, et c'est ça qui va générer des maladies cardiovasculaires. Donc on a beaucoup de stéréotypes, le sujet est encore tellement tabou que on juge comme ça, sans nécessairement, c'est pas pour donner raison à la personne, mais on ne laisse pas à la personne une plateforme de s'exprimer. On n'essaye pas d'aller creuser la cause, mais on juge juste la réaction superficielle. Mais on ne va pas creuser pour savoir qu'est-ce qui s'est passé pour que telle ou autre chose arrive. Vous voyez ce que je veux dire? Et ça, c'est dangereux.
Thank you so much, ladies. I think I'm enjoying this conversation as we pick each question, and I feel that by the end of this session, I'm going to be the most inspired and the most learned person on this platform. Let me pick on you, Dr. Mercy, because I think this one really concerns you. What impact can a positive body image and high self-worth have on one's mental health? I would like you to spill it out, spill the titties.
Priska, I'm laughing at modesty. I'm laughing. Just say it, Priska. Some people, no matter what happened, they will still find only the negative thing to say, right? You can go somewhere and be celebrated, and all somebody will see is Oh, her hair looked this way. You can go somewhere and getting an award, and all some people will say is, oh, but she's fat. Oh, she's slim. Oh, she's short. Oh, she doesn't. Look, this has happened so many times. I think, Priska, you were just, they are jealous people. They are envious people. I have had people call me so slim. They're like, small mommy, things like that. Why you over small so? But go to their homes, they are drinking all kind of tea, all kind of detox. Yeah, that's the body they want to have. But when they see somebody has it, they cannot even appreciate it. They cannot even have respect for that. I've gone somewhere. You go somewhere, you're being celebrated. People are appreciating you. People are rejoicing with you, and all they want to say is, so somebody actually told me, oh, in your next life, will you still want to look like that with no butt? And this was in the middle of a celebration. I was like, oh, I didn't realize I don't have butt. Is that a problem? So it's funny what expectations the society have for us. And oh my goodness. To answer your question, Adeline, let us stay around positivity. Let us filter our companies. Let us filter the society we keep. Let us filter the practices, the thoughts that are in our minds so that we can foster a good mental health. What is health without mental health? A good mental health, a sane mental health, that you're free from all those negativity, you're free from unnecessary worries, you're free from killing yourself, because all those negative perceptions, you're killing yourself. They are taking a toll on you. They are taking a space for growth. If you remove all those worries, if you learn to be selective and take away all those worries, you have time to focus on yourself. You have time to focus on the gift that you have. You have time to focus on your purpose. Yes, you may still have some mental health issues, because mental health is not stemming just from body image. You have time to focus on those other issues and how to handle them, how to treat them. You have time to practice self gratitude. You have time to respect yourself. It starts with the self. You have time to say, oh, I am beautiful. I am a queen. I am a king. You have, and all those feeds your mind. All those create positive affirmations that feeds your mind and clear away the negative thoughts so that you can be sane and move towards the next purpose. You have time to practice self-compassion. Be kind and gentle with yourself. There's nothing wrong with you. You have time to be compassionate with yourself. You have time to embrace who you are. You have time to love yourself. You have time to engage in self-care. And anytime you're doing all that, focus on the health, not on the weight, not on the looks. You have time to focus on how are you feeling. You have time to surround yourself with diverse body image. I can think I have it all. It is my perception. You can think you have it all. It is your perception. Why don't we blend our allness to become one whole society where diversity is encouraged? You have time to know who you are when you have a good mental health, where you don't worry about how you look. You have time for other things, for self growth, for growth in your community, not just for you. You have time to be the best ever person that you can be, whatever role you're playing, as a worker, as a wife, as a mother, as a daughter, as a sister, as a friend. You have time. One thing people do not realize is mental overwhelmness is even greater than being physically tired. When you go through all those thoughts, at the end of the day, you are more tired than someone who has been in the gym for how long? Because it takes a toll on your brain. Once your brain is tired, you're physically, mentally shutting down. So don't worry about things that you should not be worried about. Create some mindful practices within yourself. Accept yourself. Love yourself. If you need this kind of body for health reasons, fine. If it's not for health reasons, it is for what you want, fine. But do not do things because you want to please society. What is health without mental health? Without mental health, there's nothing that you will thrive in. So let's gain mental sanity. Let's stop worrying about how we are looking. Let's stop worrying, more importantly, about what we want society to see in us. Let us worry about what we think society is seeing in us. How do you look? Somebody say, I am not what you think I am, not what you think I am, but I am what I think you think I am. Remember that. I am what I think you think I am. So remember, what do you think about yourself before starting to worry what someone else think about you? Please let us flourish in the bodies that we have and forget about thinking.
Wow, you just have to close your eyes and focus on you. I think Stella, who is part of our one of our online audience, has just summarized what you've said, Mercy. It is about closing your eyes and focusing on you. Because when you focus on you, you feel good. That means you have confidence in yourself. And Mercy, Dr. Mercy, you mentioned a few slides back that teach your kids that when they go out there, it is not about those people out there. It's not about what they think about them, but it's about what you've trained them to think about themselves, their self-worth, which is most important. Thank you so much for this handful. What I want to get now, I know we about 15 minutes to show time end, but what I want to capture before we actually close is past experience. And I want to start with you, Mercy, because I know in your bio you mentioned that you've been burnt, before, and I want you to share, a bit of your experience, if how it affected your worth, and also how it affected the way you connect to people. I know you mentioned the wedding, and you said you had to keep to yourself throughout throughout that ceremony because of what somebody said at the beginning. But can you share maybe another experience which made you to sink deep into a depressed mood and that affected your mental capacity or your mental ability?
Um, well, when I look at my body image, I have not had too many terrible experiences. However, I mean, there are small things which, when Dr. Mercy was speaking, I remembered small things, something like someone saying, people will never be happy with the way you look. Not everybody will. One will say you look good, the other one will say, oh, you're too skinny, you're too fat. It's been talked about the whole time here. But just one specific thing is, as I started working out and losing body fat and getting more muscle, I got to the level where I'm being asked, don't you have too much muscle? Aren't you happy now with your muscle? And my veins on my hands started getting popping, they were visible. My veins on my hands are visible. So I started wondering, okay, now what's going on with this? Where are my veins popping? And I'm being told, okay, you look like somebody who uses drugs. You look like, your veins are so popped out. You look like you use drugs. And for me, it affected me a little bit. But then when I shared this with my trainer, and something that is important is when you're going through some of these things, it's good to speak about it. Speak to somebody, whether it's a professional psychiatrist, psychologist, whether it's my trainer. So I asked my trainer, look, my veins are getting bigger and I'm getting a bit more masculine. Am I getting to look like a man now? And she said, don't worry about it, because at the end of the day, when you look at your body, and for you to get these veins, she's a professional athlete, and she actually competes on bodybuilding platforms. And she says, for any athlete to actually get a vein to be visible, that's a lot of hard work. So I looked at it in the sense that I need to appreciate the strides I've made. I need to appreciate all the work, all the effort I've made, all the hard work I've been doing, all the hard work I've been putting in. It's actually got me to have a body like an athlete. I'm not a competitive athlete, but then I look as good as a competitive athlete. Am I doing anything that's harmful to my body? No. I'm just working out 1 hour a day, 5 times a week, and that's okay. That's good enough. It's healthy. It keeps me feeling good and strong. So in terms of that, how do I overcome these things? These days, I don't listen to what anybody says, because as Dr. Mercy says, oh, you in your next life, will you want to have a bat? I mean, what's so beautiful about bats? And there's this obsession about the nyash, and people going to do the BBL and all these things, which to me, it's like, okay, you can actually work out and maybe get that bat or not. Does it matter? Not really. I can still do all my activities. I can still work my job. I can still take care of my children. I can still do all my daily activities with the body that I have. So I'm going to just take care of myself, take care of my body, eat right, make sure that it's functioning well, I'm sleeping well, having proper bowel movement, having good appetite. And there's something that Dr. Vasi mentioned about your mental health causing your body to actually get ill. So many times, by the time I got burnt out in October, I think it had started earlier in the year because of the stress. I was getting anxiety attacks, and I didn't know what that was because it's the first time I'm getting it. I mean, I'm almost getting to my 40s, and when I was experiencing these things, I was wondering, okay, I've never felt this way. I would all of a sudden have a high heartbeat, like I'd feel my heart thumping, and I would wonder what's going on. And because I've been in a family where I've experienced mental illness, I had a psychologist because the burnout had happened before, only that this time it was caused by probably caregiver burnout because I'd been taking care of somebody who was ill. So I got a psychologist to speak to a therapist. And this therapy really helps because one thing I remember when I was talking to her, I was a bit subconscious about my stomach. I was like, I would like a flat tummy with abs and everything. And she assured me and says, look, you know what? If you're able to do everything else, you just have to be comfortable with yourself in your own skin, in your own body. And you need to accentuate what looks good on you. If you think you look good on the upper body, dress well and make sure that it looks good for you, and you will feel good. You'll feel great. So don't let other things, your insecurities come. So what if you have a big stomach? So what if you look in a certain way? There's no big deal about it. So one of the things that is important to navigate around such things is speak to people, speak to professionals, speak to the psychiatrist, psychologist, speak to, if you want to have a good body, go to a gym. Honestly, go to a nutritionist. If you want to look good, go to a nutritionist. Make sure that what you're putting inside your body is the right thing to ensure that you're meeting your body goals. Yeah. So those are just some of the things that people can do to ensure that you're navigating this body image issues. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mercy. You've just told me that I don't need to go under the knives. I need to go to the gym. I need to speak to a nutritionist. Okay, that's fine. So that has convinced me. I'm going to do the right thing. Going to go walk out the body, get the body that you want. You don't buy these things. You work for them, isn't it? No need trying to buy it. You have to work for. Now, Priska, I know you might or you might not have had any experience to share with regards to body image, but if there is something that you want to share, that yourself or someone else's who you're close to who've had such an experience and what they did to overcome that, this is a time I feel you will, I would like you to share that with the audience. And then after this, we're going to go, I know Dr. Mercy has already shared her being buttless, which of course I know her personally, and I think she's not buttless. She's got some butts. So, so let's hear from Priska.
Thank you really much. That's an incredible story that you shared, Madame Mercy Barassa. Thank you so much. And I hope and I know that your story will impact other people's lives and resolution. I have been seeing, many info running about people who are dying at the hospital during surgery operations because they wanted to, actually modify their body because maybe they are overweight and then they want to be skinny, or maybe they are too skinny and they want to gain weight and stuff. But actually, when they pass away, there were two mechanisms to take care of. The family was suing the doctor, and the family of the person will have to manage everything. So at the end of the day, no one is personne ne sort gagnant là-dedans. Parce que d'une part, il y a le chirurgien avec qui on enclenche une poursuite judiciaire, et de l'autre côté, vous laissez quand même votre famille endeuillée, en train de pleurer votre départ parce que vous avez donné votre vie sur une table d'opération. Donc, c'est un sujet très sensible, en fait. À la fin de la journée, mettez-vous aussi dans la peau des autres en se disant, c'est vrai qu'il faut que je pense à moi, mais en même temps aussi, je vis dans un environnement. À un moment donné de la vie, il faut que je pense aux autres également, parce que mon action a aussi un impact sur la vie des autres personnes. Si je fais cette opération et que les choses se passent mal, je vais laisser mes enfants sans parents, sans leur maman ou sans leur papa, en fait. Donc, le niveau de réflexion va jusque là. Parce que we are talking about self-care. Oui, mais à un niveau, c'est pas juste le self-care, il faut aussi penser à sa famille. Est-ce que je vais laisser ma vie sur cette table d'opération-là et ce qui fera en sorte que les enfants manquent un parent en moins, parce que j'y aurais laissé ma vie, mais je prie que ça ne vous arrive pas. Autre chose également, c'est à l'opposé, lorsque l'opération ne se passe pas comme on le veut, c'est un peu dopant, ce genre de choses, de stratégie-là, parce que si je n'ai pas eu les lèvres que je désirais, après l'opération, je vais vouloir faire une autre opération. Ou si je n'ai pas eu le bon implant, après l'opération, quelques semaines après, je vais vouloir faire une autre opération. Donc, c'est vraiment un chemin dans lequel, lorsqu'on s'engage, c'est très risqué. Vraiment, vraiment risqué. Maintenant, pour mon histoire personnelle, en fait, quand j'étais plus petite, peut-être au lycée, I wasn't satisfied about my cheeks. Je trouvais que j'avais de grosses joues et j'aimais pas ça. So one day I decided to talk about it with my dad, and I was crying. I remember I was crying, and he was like, "Oh wow, what makes you crying? Why are you crying actually?" And I said, "Because I don't like the way my cheeks looks like. I don't like my cheeks at all." And I thought he will support me, like, oh non, t'as raison, vraiment, si t'aimes pas, c'est pas grave et tout. No, he told me, you know what? And I said, no, tell me. He said, if you lose your cheeks, you will never be Priska again. Because Priska is exactly how you are, how you look, actually. It comforts me like a little bit, and I was like, okay, I did understand, and I will keep it. And when I came to America, the glow of makeup, the glow of how do you call it again? Contouring.
Contouring, high cheekbones.
I was like, my dad lied to me, because actually women are trying to cover their cheeks and stuff, and he told me that I am beautiful the way I am, with big cheeks and stuff. Oh, he was lying to me. And here in America, if you don't have your contour, you better don't come out of your house, kind of literally. Et puis à un moment donné, je me suis dit, mais il m'a dit que si je perdais mes joues, je ne serais plus jamais Priska. But I was so young when he told me. But today, when I'm mature, I'm trying to better understand what he was saying back then. Et je me rends compte que aujourd'hui, I like my cheeks, I like my dimples, And I think if I didn't have all those cheeks, I wouldn't have all these beautiful dimples, right? Et puis, je me suis dit, dans la vie, il n'y aura jamais quelqu'un qui pourra être comme nous. Nous sommes particuliers, nous sommes spéciaux, nous sommes uniques et nous sommes singuliers. Je le vois même en entreprise. Parfois, lorsqu'en négociation, ça ne se passe pas bien, bah après, le client revient parce qu'il me dit, je ne pense pas que cette entreprise-là aura ce que vous avez. Parce que vous avez quelque chose de particulier. And that is it. Chacun d'entre nous véhicule quelque chose que les autres ne pourront jamais avoir. Je ne pourrai jamais essayer d'être Madame Merci Guessant, jamais Madame Adeline Sédé, jamais Madame Merci Barassa, parce que chacune d'elles a sa singularité. Vous voyez ce que je veux dire? De la même manière que je ne peux pas être elle, elle ne peut pas être moi, parce qu'on véhicule en fait dans notre ADN ce qui nous rend unique. Vous voyez ce que je veux dire? Aujourd'hui, je ferai jamais. Une fois, quand j'ai vu Madame Adeline Cédé, j'ai mis la main sur la tête. Je me suis dit, mais comment vous faites pour avoir cette coiffure et tout cela? Parce que je sais que je ne ferai jamais cela. Mais elle le porte tellement bien et c'est sa personnalité. Ça va avec elle. C'est un peu comme devenu son identité. Aujourd'hui, je ne sais pas si elle ferait une autre coiffure, si je sais pas, je n'arrive pas à l'imaginer sans cette coiffure-là. Vous voyez ce que je veux dire? Mais ça se peut que vous le fassiez et que ça ne vous aille pas du tout. Alors là, pas du tout. Vous voyez ce que je veux dire? Donc, c'est très important de s'accepter comme on est. Sa coiffure la rend entièrement belle. Mais une autre personne essaierait et ça ne passerait pas du tout. Mes grosses joues me vont entièrement bien et ça fait ressortir mes faussettes. Mais ça, c'est moi. Ça ne veut pas dire nécessairement que pour une autre personne, ça adhérerait. Donc, l'idée, finalement, c'est d'embrasser tout cela. Comme le docteur Mercy l'a dit tout à l'heure, elle a pris ces veines qui ressortaient comme le témoignage de ses efforts. Parce que ce n'est pas tout le monde qui a des veines qui sortent après un entraînement. Il faut vraiment avoir fait un entraînement d'athlète pour arriver à cela. Donc, elle a pris finalement ça pour justifier les efforts qu'elle a faits. Et moi, je pense que c'est très important, l'acceptation de soi. C'est hyper important de s'aimer comme on est. C'est pas tout le monde qui va trouver que vos grosses joues vous vont bien. Mais le plus important, est-ce que vous vous acceptez comme tel? Si la réponse c'est oui, alors la vie extérieure ne compte plus. Vous venez de...
Thank you so much, Priska. Wow. I believe since I was a little girl, as little as I can remember, I've always wanted dimples, and I've always wanted. It is true that when we were younger, when you were a girl with high cheekbone, you know, we didn't consider you as pretty. But right now, see how I'm trying to contour my jaws to make sure these cheeks are flying all over the place. But thank you so much for that testimony. Mercy, Dr. Mercy was telling me yesterday that, you know, because I complained about something and she said, oh, you don't have to. You need to listen to my own issues. What you consider an issue for you, I am the opposite. But it makes us feel the same. Mine makes me feel a bit low. Hers makes her feel a bit low. But when I look at her, I want her. And she's like, don't envy what you see, because what you see, these are some of the complications that can come with it. So I totally do understand when you say so. Ladies, thank you so much. We've been talking for 1 hour, 40 minutes, and I think we must come to the end. I mean, they say every good thing comes to an end. And I know you're all busy. You want to rush off to something else. But if there is one thing, Mercy, if there is one thing that you want our audience to take back, first, I want to thank you guys. I can't believe we've got more than 50 shares for this webinar, and we've got consistently people staying there. We've got more than we've had people who've stayed there consistently. The comments I can't even count right now, but I'm so happy we had all these people checking in and participating. This was really an engaging session. So thank you so much, team. All Mercy. This is what we want all the time when we log on, when we start talking. We want people to come up and we want people to contribute, and that's what you've done. So thank you. Now over to you, Mercy. If there's one thing, 1 minute that you have to say to those listening about body image and what and how they should look at their body image, the perception, what will it be? You will need to unmute yourself, Mercy, so that we can hear you.
Sorry, I don't know, I forgot. So I said, so we need to look at ourselves as not being just a body. An individual, Mercy, is made up of somebody who has a spirit. I'm made up of someone who has both a body, a spirit. I have a mind, and I also have a heart. Yeah. So out of all those things, the mental health can be affected by any of those things being out of balance. So we need to have a balanced life. Let's not focus on just bodies. Let's focus on having a balanced life. Focus on where did you come from? What is your purpose in life? Your purpose is definitely not to be walking around looking gorgeous and everything. That's not what your purpose is. You have a purpose on this earth. Try and find your purpose. And if you have your purpose and you work towards a certain purpose outside of just the body, then you definitely will not get affected. But then again, our body is the vessel that we're walking around in. So we need to take care of it. So you need to eat healthy. You need to at least make some movement. You don't have to go to the gym. You can do some jogging. You can do anything that makes your heart rate go up a little bit to avoid any lifestyle diseases. Because as long as you're not active, then you can get a disease, whether it's for the body or your mind. And one thing that I find relaxes me, and if I'm getting any anxiety coming up, what do? Take a break. We're supposed to take a break, take downtime. You know, we're always rushing in this society currently. We're rushing to do things. We're always go to work, go to school to drop the kids, go here, go there. When do you ever have a time to say, I'm just going to say, take a time out and relax? Are you able to say no to certain things just so that you can have that time alone to relax and to rejuvenate? You need to relax and rejuvenate every so often. So I think one thing I would say is, let us not focus on what society is telling us about our bodies, but let us focus on being well internally. Let us focus on the whole being of a person, not just about the body.
Thank you so much, Mercy. Let's focus on the being. Let's focus on our mental stability. Let's focus on being well. Let's not focus on the body, because as long as the mechanism that carries the body, I always say the body is like an MOT. So if everything works, then you're fine. So let's, Priska, if there is one thing that you want the audience to take away with them today, what will it be?
Thank you. Thank you very much. I will say again la connaissance de son identité. Parce que je pense que dans la vie, tout part de ce qu'on sait de soi et ce qu'on croit qu'on a au-dedans de soi. Qui tu crois que tu es pourra t'ouvrir tellement de portes, en fait. Et l'une des portes qu'elle te permettra d'ouvrir, c'est self-confidence. When you have your self-confidence, you can, go across any challenges. So knowing who you are will help you to go over and over challenges, because life will come out with challenges, but not challenges are there to keep you down. No, at all, not at all. But to, through challenges, you become more mature. Let's say it this way. So it is like some skills in the life that you have to go through, and lives come with it to make you more mature. And if you have self-confidence, when you know who you are and what you got to give to the society, you wouldn't be, vous n'accepterez pas tout ce que la société vous présente, mais à ce moment-là, vous serez celui qui apporte à la société. Finalement, vous ne serez pas juste un spectateur, mais vous serez un acteur, non seulement dans votre vie, mais aussi dans la vie des autres personnes. Et tout ça, ça passe par la connaissance de son identité. Au travers d'une phase même de dépression, si vous passez par une phase de dépression, une approche qu'on a souvent avec notre patientèle, c'est de forger en fait tout ce qui touche à l'identité de la personne, pour que cette personne se rappelle que c'est elle qui doit tenir les rênes de sa vie et qu'il y a un inversement de rôle. Ce sera plus la dépression qui la tiendra, mais ce sera elle qui dira stop à la dépression au travers de tout le schéma de thérapie qu'on devra passer avec elle. So know who you are and what you want. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Priska. That was a perfect way to wrap up everything that Mercy has said, Dr. Mercy has said. Our audience, some of them have, they've mentioned the same thing. And I want to say it was truly a pleasure hosting you, ladies. And every time I host such sessions, I feel inspired, I feel motivated, and I feel that we're not just talking to the audience, but we're talking to ourselves. We're talking to us. And we should try as well to put in practice some of the things that we preach on these sessions, because there is nothing wrong in taking positive recommendations, and that is all what you ladies have, what you've said today, or you've given us today, positive recommendations that I'm sure we're going to take on the tap. Thank you once more for giving me the opportunity to host you on this platform, and everything that we've said about unveiling the power of self perception and how body image and self worth can shape our connections with others. I feel that will help me to relate better with other people. It will also help me to understand some of the things that I have to put in front as my values. It will also help me to disregard some of the things that people say about how I look or about how other people look, because it's not just about how you look or how other people look, but how it affects you. So if we don't let these things affect us, then we're not going to keep thinking, oh, I need to do this, oh, I need to do that, oh, I need to be like this person and that person and that person. So that said, I'm going to call on our host, who's going to give us a closing remark. And before giving us a closing remark, Mercy, please, in 1 minute, tell us what our audience needs to take home with them, and then you can close the session. I'll pop you in and then I'll pop you out again. You can unmute yourself, that's okay.
I want to thank all the speakers. Short notice, you guys showed up. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys making time so that we can together talk about this topic. To our audience, you've been very participative. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is an ongoing topic. It doesn't end here today. But if I can take one thing home, it will be, remember that you are more than your body. Your body is just one aspect of your identity. You are a complex individual with talents, with emotions, with passions, with relationships. Like Priska said, it doesn't affect just you. Sometimes the way you treat your body affects your family. Those people who were bullied and they died, their family are still mourning for them. So cultivate and celebrate the other aspects of yourself that go beyond your physical appearance. Remember that you are more than your body. Seek validation from within. Relying solely on external validation can be very fleeting and very unreliable. Cultivate self validation by acknowledging your strengths, your accomplishments, your personal growth. Your opinion of yourself matters way more than the opinion of others. When you understand the power of self perception, of body image, of self worth, all this emphasizes the importance of self awareness, of challenging the societal beauty standards, the boundaries that society is trying to create. Like you have to look this way to fit this way. No, you recognize your worth. It extends far beyond your external appearance. By embracing all what we have said today, you can foster a positive self-image. You can cultivate self-worth. You can live a more fulfilled and authentic life just by loving yourself and accepting who you are. Now, we do understand that some body images may really be physically distorted, or you may perceive that it is distorted. This is the moment where you seek support. Speak to a mental health professional, because sometimes this can significantly impact your well being. Therapy can provide a safe space to explore underlying issues, develop coping strategies, and enhance your self perception. And sometimes we understand that other comorbidities come together with body images. This is when anxiety, depression starts overshadowing everything that you are living for. Seek professional help. Thank you all so much for joining us to talk about this today. You are muted.
It is a wrap for today. My name is Adeline Sedekamga, and I've been your, you know, facilitator for today. Thank you so much, Dr. Mercy of All Mercy, for hosting us. And thank you, ladies, Mercy and Priska, for jumping and adding value to the conversation that we hold online. I guess we're going to be seeing you ladies at some point again. Please do feel free to reach out to us if there's any particular topic that you would like us to discuss with regards to mental health and with regards to our being. Mercy, last edition you said something about our wholeness. You know, we need to continue to work, to ensure that we are whole, mind, body, and soul. So it's a wrap. I'm going to say thank you, ladies, and I'm going to say bye for today. And I'll be seeing you again in our next session in 2 months' time. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.